Not everything needs fixing. Learning to live without self-correction. I'm Gigi Fairbanks, and this is 61 Unfinished, a space for people over the age of 60 who know that they're not done yet, just really trying to embrace this last section of their lives with a lot of fun and a lot of vitality, and people that just aren't ready to call it quits yet. So if that's you, then stay with me. Today, what I want to talk about today is that it seems like we are, as we get older, we feel like we're some kind of an unfinished project, right? So like there are constantly these improvements that need to be made instead of just living our lives. So I want to talk about the fact that, not everything that's uncomfortable needs to be fixed, and not everything that is awkward needs to be adjusted. That there are just some seasons in our lives that we don't need to improve them, right? So I'm going to talk about a few different patterns, and if any of those resonate with you, I'd like for you to let me know. Okay, the first pattern that I want to talk about is constantly self-editing in conversations, right? So I'll find myself running through, rehearsing these scenarios in my head with conversations with people that never come to pass. It's like I'm borrowing trouble, or just looking to anticipate trouble. So that is one of the things that I'm really trying to just hone in and focus on. Another pattern that looks like or can be self-correction is to constantly be apologizing for your feelings or your moods or your lack of energy. Pardon me, I think I'm getting a little bug here. Or trying to treat rest or sadness or uncertainty as if it's a problem, rather than just letting it be. Just let it sit there and be, right? And then lastly, trying to constantly feel like we need to, optimize our personality, glow up or upgrade, or be this better, super amped version of ourselves. So I want to push past all of that this year and just really embrace who I am and what I have to offer the world and go with that. So I'm going to dig into a couple things here. Okay, so the first one is you are not broken, right? We're human, and we live in a culture that is obsessed with correction right now. But we can choose not to live like that. We can choose to live with more intention and more happiness, if you will, and excitement. So one of the things we can do, when we look in the mirror, and instead of saying, what's wrong with me, ask ourselves, what is being asked of me right now? And that little simple shift can take you from judgment into curiosity. All right, another thing to think about that we have to really pull into this is looking at this through the aging lens. Okay, so what the aging lens is, at this stage in our life, things cost more to fix than they did before. And I'm not just talking about financial, although, ladies, it costs more now, doesn't it? Because we have to have more stuff, right? We have to have more stuff. Some of us, not all of us, some of us. So it can cost more financially, but also energy just really can just zap our energy. But the other thing, the one that I really hate is feeling like I'm in this constant state of self-surveillance, like constantly analyzing myself, what can be better, what can I do better, how can I make things better? So I'm trying to shift that, and I'm trying to instead look at what might actually need care, but not necessarily fixing. Because care is, it's not the same thing as correction. So there are definitely times in our lives where we require a little extra care. So I want to talk about a couple of those. One of them could be a feeling that needs to be felt or that needs to come out. I don't hide my feelings well. And the older I'm getting, the less I feel like I need to or want to withhold my feelings. So I speak it. I've learned to speak it, and I'm learning to be a little bit better in my delivery with my husband sometimes when I'm feeling a funky way. But I'm working on that, and I'm recognizing that in myself. Excuse me. A second one would be if our body truly needs a rest. So an example of this would be there is a season of patience with yourself where you have to have rest. Maybe you're recovering from a joint replacement or, all the lots of things that can be going wrong at this stage in our lives. So there are some things that do require care, but I don't want you to look at that like it's any kind of a correction, because care really is not correction. So what do we need to do? Well, I think that we need to seek wisdom. So why do I think that we need to seek wisdom? Because wisdom is not about constant refinement. Wisdom is about discernment. And when we have discernment, we can figure out what actually needs our attention and what doesn't. So wisdom will help us to figure that piece out. And fortunately for us, God gives wisdom to everyone who asks for it. James 1:5 talks about that. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. And what I love about this verse is, to me, this is about as straightforward as Scripture can get. If you lack wisdom, if you want wisdom, ask for it, and God will give it to you generously. No shaming and no scolding. That's what the part about no reproach means. It will be given to you. You don't have any hoops, no qualifiers like a certain way that you need to behave or that you have to do XYZ things. All you have to do is ask. And that's what I do. And it comes to me, I feel like the wisdom comes to me in a form of knowing. Some people might think of it like their conscience talking to them. That might be relatable for some people to understand that. But many of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And the thing is, God does not expect us to figure it out alone. He expects us to ask him. He wants us to ask him. So, I ask the Lord to direct my steps every morning. Before I get out of bed, that is the first thing I try to do before my feet hit the floor. And then I can walk confidently in knowing that the people or the things that are put in my path that day are there for a reason. And I need to tend to some of those. Again, kind of going back with that filter of trying to identify first where it's coming from. And there's just a real confidence in knowing that the Lord will step in and lead your way and rearrange circumstances on your behalf. It's wild. It's wild. I love it. So I'm going to leave you with this. You're not a problem to be solved. You are a person to be listened to. Some things don't need fixing. They just need permission to be. So I want you to think about your life. And if any of this might apply to you, if you feel like there's something that you're going to work on really releasing this year, I would like to know what that is. I would really like to know what that is. Okay. Remember that we're not self-correcting. We are responding. That's how we're going to look at this. We are responding. Okay, great. Thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna pop a handout over in the post section, and I'll reference this video if you would, if you like to have something to follow along with or some little added things.